Sisters and brothers, another objective was the development of a policy framework for skills and productivity that impact positively on private sector expansion in the context of the new economy. It's another great initiative. Overall, there are some key lessons learned from phase one of the Great Grenada Growth Forum. And it is incumbent upon us to be mindful of those as we move forward in phase two. 1, we need to define reforms clearly with realistic timelines and associated performance indicators. Because sometimes those of us in the technical area, we use all sorts of terms and the other man fail to understand what we're talking about. Because we feed our egos and we don't remember that unless the person we're talking to understand what we're talking about, we are still failing in a fundamental responsibility to do what we're supposed to do. Secondly, to include structured feedback mechanism to help assess reform implementation. Thirdly, to enhance continuity of stakeholder involvement throughout the process. And finally, prioritize reforms to bring greater focus and attention. During the month of April, several consultations, I understand, were held with different partners and stakeholders to facilitate the creation of the areas of priority for phase two of the Growth Forum. Moving into phase two of the Growth Forum, the proposed reforms are indeed very comprehensive from what I saw. Details of those will be discussed at the technical levels, but permit me to highlight several of those broad-based areas as I see it. 1, improve energy efficiency. 2, improve trade and business logistics services. 3, exploit the transformative power of information and communication technology. 4, strengthen regional cooperation. 5, implement and broaden a new policy framework that addresses private sector issues and impacts investment capabilities. 6, streamline processes and procedures related to the establishment and operation of a business. 7th, create better linkages between agriculture and tourism, agro-processing, and the wider economy. 8th, reduce operating and financial costs and improve access to finance. And 9thly, support the development of training and educational systems that produce workers with requisite skills and competencies which are employable at the national, regional, and global levels. Sisters and brothers, this is key. We cannot continue to supervise over a sector based on what we see the age group now involved is dying out. And we have no choice but to ensure that that ninth issue that I mentioned, training and educational development, is so important, because we cannot ask the young people that they must be involved in the agricultural sector because it's something we believe that we must do. We may have to talk less and do more. Unless a young man or young woman sees the opportunity to make a serious livelihood in this sector, they will not be like our mothers and fathers who loved to do agriculture because they loved it. They want to know they will have a better life by investing the time, energy. They want to send their kids to the best schools like some of us. They want to buy the nicest homes like some of us. And if they want the motor cars, they also want to have the nice motor cars too. So unless they see the sectors viable in those corners, we can talk as much as we want, we won't get buying. It is my belief that if we take the lessons from phase one, which I outlined earlier, We can definitely build on the successes for highly productive phase 2, therefore. The signs of growth nationally are encouraging for all to see. But there are still many challenges to surmount, including the unevenness of that growth throughout the sectors. It is therefore imperative that all stakeholders work together to advance the gains we have made and to forge new achievements across all sectors identified. When we work together and sacrifice together, we can reap tremendous benefits. We have seen it, sisters and brothers. We have a serious case study that we have now had. We cannot afford, therefore, to regress on the economic growth that we have seen. Our efforts must be sustained in ensuring that we protect and sustain the various pillars of our growth. I take this opportunity, therefore, concluding, to thank all the stakeholders from the public sector, the elements that understand in the public sector that productivity is a necessary ingredient for further opportunity. The private sector, the NGO community, civil society, and the churches, and trade unions all for their contribution to this noble initiative, both in phase 1 and in the creation of phase 2. I look forward to your continued input in nation building. I also like to thank the World Bank for leading this important process, and other development partners such as the Caribbean Development Bank, the IMF, the OECD Secretariat, and other partners. As I said in Washington last week, we have done our share. We will continue to do what we're doing. But without your support, all our partners, we would not be where we are today. Sisters and brothers, let us continue to march forward together, holding hands. Even if we don't like each other, we still hold the hands for the benefit of Grenada Carriacou and P.T. Martin and our children and grandchildren. Thank you.